All right, so yes, this is bringing up a little bit of resistance. How is everyone today? Hope you're having a fantastic day. And the topic of today will probably be a series that we're going to be working with, but I just wanted to approach the beginning of it today and talk about this formula that I've discovered in the form of an equation, which is holding the key to some very, very deep and profound shifts and understandings that have been taking place within me experientially since having discovered it. So many of you know I've been working on a book. The topic of the book is effortless fulfillment. It's about uncovering that wellspring of inner satisfaction and contentment that we all naturally have within us, that isn't the result of anything external or some situation or person coming into our life and making everything wonderful, because that's not sustainable. That's everything changes in life. But by discovering the inner fulfillment, we can have a sense of content and peace and joy that's sort of our baseline substratum, if you will, of our general everyday experience. So while the highs and lows of life, we still experience all the drama of life, but it's just from a different level of comfort and ease. So there's less of the wavering. The negatives in particular don't bring us down so low or are taken so seriously. But nonetheless, in the process of looking into that, I started questioning the relationship between capacity and resistance, because I've been long fascinated by resistance and its consequences. Inner resistance, resistance to other people, how we respond or react to things. And also just because I've felt for a long time that I've carried around a high degree of resistance that I've been working on releasing, because I've noticed about the freedom that it gives to let it go. But in any case, in looking at the relationship with resistance and capacity, I began to note that they are very much affected by the other. So capacity increases directly in relation to the decrease in resistance. And this holds true in electrical terms as well. So when we're sending, like 20,000 volts through some wiring, let's say, and we need to actually power something that takes 12 volts, we can't send all that electricity into it. It would fry everything out. But what we can do is through resistance, we can gradually step that power down to something that is manageable by the device or whatever it is that we're powering. So in a nutshell, I'm no electrical wizard, but in a nutshell, that's how it works. We have the energy coming into the system, through the system, and then we have a certain amount of resistance that's going to take that energy to an appropriate level. All right, so that's just how it works in electrical terms. But in our own experience, we can notice how a relative truth is also there, whereas capacity equates to ability, if you will. Our ability to do something is a result of whether or not we have the capacity to do it in whatever form that capacity is needed. So if we want to increase our ability to do anything, anything well, to improve our lives or situations or get a goal or, just in general have a greater satisfaction in life, we need to have the ability to do that, right? And the way to have the ability to do that, if we don't have it now, we need to increase our capacity. So again, how do we increase our capacity? It's very simple. There's only one way to do it immediately, directly, and that doesn't depend on any outside circumstance, and that is within ourselves to decrease the resistance. As we let go of resistance, naturally our capacity increases, because as we'll see in further videos, the source of our energy is on one end of the equation, and I won't get into it now, but in my uncovering, it appears that we're dealing with an infinite source, or at the very least immeasurable, more than we could ever possibly use. So we'll get into that later. For now, we can just understand that there's a certain amount of energy that we have available to us at any given time. And that energy translates into our capacity or ability to do a thing, or to create something, to manifest it, to do any kind of work at all. Even to have an understanding, even to grow in any way, we need to have capacity to do that. Capacity equals ability. And the only thing that really directly limits our capacity is our own resistance that gets in the way. coming straight from that source energy, if we didn't have the resistance, there would be 100% efficiency, and we would have all of that energy to use at our capacity. So for now, it's going to be enough just to understand the very basics of this equation, which is that energy minus resistance equals capacity. Energy minus resistance equals our capacity. So keep that in mind, because it's going to be very crucial in understanding things further as we unpack this truth and see if we can get it to work for us. Well, I won't call it a truth yet, not for you guys' sake, because it's ultimately something that's going to have to be proven out for yourself through your own direct experience by experimenting. So this is a very scientific method and approach to be able to increase our capacity, increase our power, at the same time, increase our overall general sense of freedom and ease as we move through life. Because if we think about our own experience directly, when we encounter resistance in any form, it's not a good feeling. It feels like we're coming against something, like we have an enemy or an opposition, something that's weighing us down, something that's dragging us down. But I'm going to show you in the next video a power that you have direct access to that can counteract all of that. In fact, it's the fundamental key in learning how to easily and tremendously, in great magnitude, let go of massive amounts of resistance, just like that. So, and we'll get into that in the next video, but for now, just keep that principle in mind and see if you can notice it in your own life. Pay attention to anywhere you're resisting anything or anywhere where you're sensing resistance, and notice how that resistance impedes your capacity and thereby your ability to accomplish whatever it is that you're wanting to accomplish. All right, so with that in mind, I'm going to end this, but I look forward to seeing you guys real soon, and keep up the good work. Raise your ability. Decrease your resistance. Resistance is futile.